All right, designers, listen up. Welcome to your mission. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to become a cybersecurity game developer. We're not just making any old game here. We're building an experience that actually teaches players how to defend against real-world cyber threats. So, you ready to dive in?
Here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the main goal, what we're all here to do. Then, we'll break it down into two key phases, the blueprint and the build. After that, we are going to zero in on the most important part, your core cyber mechanic. Then, we'll cover the rules of engagement and finish with a final launch checklist to make sure you succeed.
So, what is the big idea here? It's pretty simple, really. Your mission is to build a game and make code arcade where players learn a real, super important cybersecurity concept just by playing, not by reading some long, boring paragraph of text, but by actually doing it in the game. That's the key. To pull this off, you're going to create two main things. First up is your portfolio. Think of this as your blueprint, your master plan for the entire game. And second, of course, is the game itself, your awesome, playable creation that brings that whole plan to life. Okay, so where do we even begin? We start with phase 1, the blueprint. Look, you can't just jump into coding and hope it all works out. Every great game, every amazing app, it all starts with a rock-solid plan. This is where you map out your genius idea before you write a single line of code. First up in your blueprint is something called A1, pseudocode. Now, don't let that fancy name scare you off. It is not complex code. Seriously, just think of it like a recipe for baking a cake. But instead, it's the recipe for your game, written in simple, plain English steps. Easy as that.
For instance, you already know the recipe for a game like Burgers and Lemons, right? It's just, if the player touches a burger, you add a point. Your challenge here is to replace that super simple rule with your new cybersecurity mechanic. So, the question is, what's your cyber rule gonna be?
Next up is A2, your flowchart. Again, this might sound complicated, but it's not. A flowchart is just a map of your game. It's a diagram that shows all the decisions a player can make from the start screen, into the game, and all the way to the win or lose screens. It's a visual guide. Now for A3, your development logbook. This thing is your secret weapon. You'll need at least 7 entries. All you have to do is quickly jot down what you tried, what totally broke, because trust me, things will break, and most importantly, how you figured out how to fix it. This is your problem-solving diary, and it is pure gold. And the last part of the blueprint is A4, cybersecurity alignment. This is just a short write-up where you get to prove that your game is actually teaching a real cyber defense strategy. It's your chance to explain the genius behind your game and connect it to a real-world idea. Okay, with your blueprint locked and loaded, we launch into phase 2, the build. This is where the real magic happens. You take that brilliant plan of yours and turn it into a living, breathing, playable game. It's time to get coding. Of course, it's not just about the code. It's about making a great game. You know what I mean? Controls that feel smooth and responsive, really clear start, win, and lose screens. You'll want things like random enemy spawns to keep it fresh, rising difficulty, and high scores to make players want to come back for more. Now, let's talk about something that is absolutely crucial, feedback. You never, ever want your player guessing what just happened. Like, did my shield work? Did I actually collect that key? No way. Use awesome feedback, flashes, particle effects, sounds. Make it super obvious and make it satisfying. Okay, let's zoom in on the absolute heart of your project, your core cyber mechanic. This is the one gameplay rule that does all the teaching. Seriously, if you get this one thing right, your entire game is going to be a massive success. So you need to ask yourself this one critical question at every single step. How does my game teach this idea? See, the best learning is active learning. The player shouldn't just read about a concept. They should feel it through the gameplay. So to build a great mechanic, you really just need 2 things. First, a trigger. That's the cause, the thing that sets the action off, like pressing an alarm button. And second, an indicator. That's the effect, the visual or audio clue that proves it worked, like a light flashing or a siren wailing. So, let's make this real. To teach something like multi-factor authentication, or MFA, maybe the player has to collect 2 different kinds of keys. Just one key isn't enough. Only when they have both will the door finally unlock. It's simple, it's visual, and it perfectly teaches the concept. Or, hey, here's another great one. Data protection. Imagine your player has to protect a really important data file. They have to apply an encryption shield to that file before an enemy attack can hit it.
If they're too slow, the data gets breached. That gameplay teaches you that protecting data ahead of time is absolutely critical.
Okay, now that you've got some ideas simmering for your core mechanic, let's talk about the rules. Every mission has rules, and this one is no different. So let's cover the rules of engagement, your mission parameters for research. You're going to want to pay close attention here. For all of your cybersecurity facts and ideas, you must use only these two sources, and I mean only these two. Grok Academy for clear explanations of the concepts, and the ABC News story called Mosaic for some really cool real-world examples. Stick to these two, and you'll be on the right track.
We are almost ready for launch, but before you start building, let's quickly run through the final checklist. These are the top tips that are going to make sure your mission is a huge success.
Here we go. Number 1, start simple. Just get a basic game working first. 2, make it visible. Every action needs clear feedback. 3, test often. Play your own game after every single change you make. 4, log as you go. Don't leave it all to the end. And 5, the most important one, teach through play.
And I really want to leave you with this, because it is the most important rule of this entire mission. Teach through play. If the cybersecurity idea isn't obvious just from playing the game, don't just add more text to explain it. Go back and change the game mechanic itself until it is.
Okay, designers, that's your briefing. Your mission is officially a go. The only question left is, what cybersecurity story is your game going to tell? Now get out there and build something amazing. Good luck!